All right, welcome back to the Run.down post-game show presented by FanDuel here on the Strickland YouTube channel, Strickland Twitter, and if you're listening to this today after Strickland Podcast Network, Merry Knicksmas, everybody. Merry Christmas. The Knicks win in another Christmas Day thriller against the Cleveland Cavaliers, 126 to 124. Shout out to Clarkson and, of course, many other Knicks that we'll get into for this game. This game was, man, I thought the Knicks were going to lose this one, like multiple times, actually. But that's silly of me for doubting this year's Knicks team, which has proven to be resilient no matter what. So, the Knicks, they get this win. Shout out to the fourth quarter, I would say. Mitchell Robinson coming in. That really changed the game for the Knicks, getting a bunch of offensive rebounds. Finished the game with 13 rebounds in just under 17 minutes, by the way. Absolutely monster game from him on the boards. After what seemed like a start from him that didn't really seem like he had his footing, and it didn't seem like he was really taking advantage of the glass. It felt like Cleveland had a better rebounding advantage early on in the game, but that fourth quarter changed a lot. Even into this fourth quarter, the Knicks kind of looked like they were still going to lose this game. I mean, that third quarter was rough. You had Jalen Tyson going off. Darius Garland looked like he was having himself a game. But the Knicks, they managed to pull through. Mitchell Robinson, Jordan Clarkson, Tyler Kolek, the heroes of the NBA Cup once again showed up in this game. Just showing the Knicks depth in this game. Give me a second, folks. I just want to do some other things here on the back end really quickly. This was a great game. Jalen Brunson decided to show up in the fourth quarter a little bit. Hit some key buckets, some huge threes, and some mid-range shots. After what seemed to be a abysmal start from him, and basically the whole starting lineup. It really wasn't a really good game for the starters, I would say. That was a big reason why a lot of fans weren't really happy with the team's production throughout this game. And the fact that also that Jalen Brunson and OG Anunoby, those two starters, they rested the last game against Minnesota. And then this game they come out and they both didn't really start the game as well as we hoped they would. But they did their thing. Jalen Brunson specifically, he did his thing in that fourth quarter. I want to talk about just like the bench guys really quickly. Tyler Kolek just continues to show that he needs to be a mainstay in the rotation, even when guys like Deuce and Shamit come back. It's going to be a very interesting situation for Mike Brown to manage, because all of these guys have shown that they belong in the rotation. Jordan Clarkson has given us great games since guys have been out, even today with 25 points off the bench, and really kept the team kind of afloat on offense in the first half of when a lot of guys were struggling. He had 14 in the first half, and he hit like 4 threes he had 4 threes in the first half. So I mean, Clarkson has shown you he needs to be in the rotation still. Kolek now giving you 16 and 9 today off the bench, hitting some key threes when they needed them the most. Came up with that great stop on Donovan Mitchell. It looked like he had either a wide open layup or dunk. Just absolutely great stuff from him in this game. His instincts on both sides of the ball are really showcasing more and more as he is getting more comfortable, more confident, and he's getting more run, and Mike Brown is trusting him. He has to stay in the rotation. So it's going to be very interesting to see what Mike Brown decides to do. Because Deuce, when he's in the Deuce was heavily missed in this game, especially with a lot of the pointed attack stuff with Darius Garland. And like stuff like that shows where he's missed in this game. and in the rotation, and why he needs to continue to be in the rotation. Shamit, he gave you great games. I mean, key moments in that Miami Cup game and the Dallas game on the road. Just like he has shown that he needs to stay in the rotation too. And now Tyler Kolek, with all these guys being hurt, I mean, he comes into this fourth quarter when Josh Hart gets hurt on that drive from stepping on Dean Wade's foot. Tyler Kolek comes in, gives you some key threes, some good dishes, get you some defensive stops. And yeah, no, he's just continued to look confident and comfortable out there. And again, it looks like the Knicks have hit on another second-round pick. This was a really good game. Give me 1 second, folks. And again, once again, the Knicks setting the tone for Christmas Day in the NBA. Last year, they set the tone against Wemby. Gave us a thriller. Mikal Bridges gave you 41. This year, Jalen Brunson gives us 34. But the real story of the game, once again, is Mitch Robinson, Clarkson, and Kolek really becoming they're really becoming like a wrecking ball of a force off the bench with what they offer. Mitch Robinson giving you those key offensive rebounds that lead to points from either Clarkson or Kolek. Kolek being able to set guys up. Just absolutely great stuff from those guys. And you're just thinking about the possibilities of when you add Deuce and Shamit to what these three have already been able to produce. And you're just imagining how much more potent this team can be. Let's see what else here we got here. In the 10 minutes and 28 seconds with 5 shooters, the Knicks outscored the Cavs by 22. These are some final thoughts from our very own Strickland page. And I mean, that just shows like Mike Brown being willing to utilize different lineups in different situations. And yeah, no, I think there was a lineup. It was, let me find it because really quickly. Kolek, Clarkson, Bridges, OG, and Towns. That was earlier in the second quarter, I want to say that lineup played. Sorry, folks. And that lineup was pretty good out there. It helped lead the comeback early on in that second quarter. But yeah, the Knicks had to come back twice in this game. Early on in the game, it was expected. Knicks got off to a slow start, but it was still early enough in the game where the Knicks could still muster up something. That second comeback was a little bit more surprising, I would say. Maybe surprising for me, maybe not for you guys. Just because I felt like, it's Christmas and, after the Cup, the Knicks seem to be still a little bit shaky in some areas. But today, no, they definitely showed that they can still be this resilient team. I mean, Josh Hart goes out. I mean, he wasn't really having the best of games necessarily, but another body going down, and you're like, damn, all right, looks like the Knicks might lose this one or whatever it was. Jalen Brunson really didn't seem like he was finding his rhythm just yet. But they shut all that up. But yeah, no, this was a fun game that we did not expect. That I think a lot of us did not expect the Knicks to really pull out at the end. Even got some theatrics at the end there with Mitch Robinson missing free throws, Donovan Mitchell coming down, hitting that freaking massive three. Yeah, no, this Knicks team, they'll make sure that you get your money's worth if you go and see them. So that's for sure. Let's see what else we got here. Tyler Kolek was a plus 24 tonight. Wow. That guy, I mean, there's like, it's so It's so interesting because I've seen so many people make some comparisons to certain things that he does similar to Quickly. And you're kind of seeing the vision of what folks saw or folks wanted when Thibs was here with Quickly and Brunson and wanting to utilize those kind of backcourts against teams. And you're kind of seeing that vision come to fruition here with Tyler Kolek and Brunson. Kolek being on ball allows Brunson to, be off ball sometimes in certain possessions. Tyler Kolek's becoming a little bit better of a shooter. I mean, he was 4 or 5 from 3 tonight. I mean, if you can get that kind of production from him and he's getting these catch and shoot opportunities off of Brunson in the fourth quarter, if it really feels like that NBA Cup game was a moment of realization for Mike Brown. And his hand was kind of forced into it, not only by injuries, but also by the way the Spurs were playing Brunson and kind of forcing him into tough situations where he needed to get off the ball. And that forced Brown to put Kolek in with him. And now you're kind of seeing the dynamic of Brunson, Kolek, and Clarkson lineup too, which is becoming somewhat potent now. I mean, all three of those guards had great games today. But yeah, no, you're really starting to see a lot of what the lineup optimization that a lot of folks have wanted to see under Thibs. And I mean, I saw a bunch of tweets today. I mean, a lot of people are like, this is why Knicks fired Thibs and, they hired Mike Brown. They wanted to get someone that would give us different looks offensively. And you saw it once again today. Mike Brown not afraid to, put those three guards out there, not afraid to play someone like a Mo Diawara, who I think gave us some pretty okay minutes. His defense wasn't really the best. He was kind of getting killed on the screens, guarding Darius Garland, but he gave us like 5 points in about 3 minutes of action today. So that's pretty good from him. I mean, just like little things like that, they matter. But yeah, no, let's get to some comments and I'll see if I can find some tweets here as well. Let's see. Yeah. Mendieta21 from Twitter says, Kolek is playing legendary. Yeah, no, he's been on a special run. He's been on a special run lately. This has been some great hoops. Chris Bernhard says, yeah, I really needed the flashbacks from last year going down a lot and then coming back. Definitely healthy. Hey, man, you're getting your money's worth from the Knicks. They're making sure that you enjoy every single minute of basketball that is played on the screen. They're making sure that you at least enjoy up to the very end. Even if you didn't enjoy the first quarter or the third quarter, because those quarters were actually really bad for the Knicks. And those were the 2 quarters that the Knicks actually got outscored in, which makes sense. When you actually if you actually watch the game, it makes sense that they got outscored in those quarters. They got outscored in the third quarter and the first quarter, almost identical. 38-23 in the first quarter, 38-24 in the third quarter. Of course, second and fourth quarters, they did their damage. 37-20 in the second quarter, 42-28 in the fourth quarter. So the Knicks, they're playing their best when it matters the most. So what more can you ask for? We got Luka Jovic. He says, Mary Nick Smith's all living in Tennessee, but originally from New York, about to represent on Saturday in the ATL. Let's fucking go. Oh yeah, they play on Saturday in Atlanta against an Atlanta team where Trae Young since he's come back, they have been struggling. I would really like for the Knicks to take advantage of this and come out strong in that game. And we'll talk about that game just a little bit later in today's show. Today's show won't be too long because it is Christmas and there is a full slate of games that I am looking to enjoy. including this nice game between OKC and the Spurs. But shout out to everyone that's here. Make sure you guys leave a like and comment if you have something that you want me to discuss or bring up. Jordan Bub 792H, Jordan Bub, always here and supporting. Tyler Kolek is the backup point guard and one that can perform under pressure. These moments for him in the fourth quarter are so important because not only is it great for his development now, it's also great for his development in the playoffs. We've seen in the playoffs that teams like to pressure Jalen Brunson, and that has proven to be an issue for this team sometimes. So having someone like a Tyler Kolek that can handle that pressure, that can play make, that can hit these big shots in the fourth quarter is just so huge, and it's going to matter so much later down the line. So yeah, I mean, this is just such an exciting development because I think a lot of us were low on Tyler Kolek just because, first of all, that summer league performance was not the best, and for someone that is an older guard that was in college for like 4 years and going into his second year, the performance that he put up in summer league just wasn't one that was encouraging and did not look like anything that we see now on the court. But that just proves to you summer league doesn't really mean much on either side, going either way, whether guys look good or look bad, because Tyler Kolek did not look good, and that was part of the reason why a lot of people were discouraged heading into the season. But he has shown that he is ready for the moment, and yeah, it's great to see him performing. And it couldn't have come at a more opportune time because team is dealing with injuries, and now they've discovered that they have someone that can be that secondary ball handler or even primary ball handler next to Jalen Brunson. So yeah, shout out to the Big East giving us our guards, Jalen Brunson and Tyler Kolek, both Big East legends right there. I gotta bring up this tweet I see on my timeline right now from, I think it's a Cavs fan, I believe. They said the Jared Allen thing is crazy because we've seen him get out rebounded by Miles Turner in a pivotal game. At what point do you acknowledge that you can't win anything when this keeps happening? Yeah, the Cavs, they have some decisions to make in terms of their personnel. It's going to be very interesting to see how it all shakes up. It's so funny because during this whole game, they're talking, like during the broadcast, they were like hyping up, the Cavs coming off these 2 wins against the Pelicans and the Hornets. The Pelicans and the Hornets, and they're like, oh man, the vibe of the Cavs team is like really shifted over these last 2 games, getting some really good wins against the Pelicans and the Hornets. And I was just befuddled because I'm like, okay, like, yeah, they're beating the shit out of the Knicks right now, but like, can they finish the job? And like, if so, great for them. I mean, we didn't play our best game, whatever it may be. They gave us their best punch, whatever it may be. We'll move on from there, whatever. But now this game even gives them even more questions because it's like, all right, you beat up these 2 sorry ass teams. Good for you. Couldn't finish the job against, in my opinion, in a lot of people's opinion, the best team in the East. And then on top of that, Mitchell Robinson is continuing to give y'all flashbacks of the failure of y'all front court. Like, I don't know how much more times they got to see Mitchell Robinson emasculate them on the big, not I mean, hasn't been on the biggest stage in a while, but Mitchell Robinson continuing to emasculate this team in games and continue to like be like, all right, maybe it's our coach that's the problem. Maybe it's, I don't know, anybody else. It's like, I think they need to change their personnel. I don't think that the core that they have right now is the team that's going to, really take them anywhere. And we've seen this countless times. I mean, you can point to injuries with the team. You can point to whatever it may be. I see folks continuing to be like, they need to fire their coach, and it's like they just got this coach, and like they had 60 wins last year, and it was all good. And like, I don't know, I feel like their fans need to look inward at their personnel. That core four of guys, a couple of them need to go. That's for their management to decide. But you can say it's not Donovan, sure, but there's some issues with that team that I am thrilled that we were able to exploit once again. 2 7-footers. Can't keep Mitch Robinson off the glass, man. That man Mitch Robinson came in for like 16 minutes, and like not even all his 16 minutes were good, bro. He really made his mark in the 14 in not even in the fourth quarter in those like 6-7 minutes that he played. And really controlled the glass there, getting second opportunities for guys, and Mitch Robinson just continues to sun the Cavs. Like, don't know. I don't know what they expect going forward. Like, but yeah. Jordan Clarkson with his best Christmas game ever as Knicks come back big to defeat the Cavs. He had 25 points on 9 of 17 from the field, 5 of 10 from 3 steals, plus 13 off the bench. Again, Jordan Clarkson. I mean, there have been some moments this year where like folks are like, man, Jordan Clarkson is really killing us, really tanking us in this game. But there are a lot of other moments where it's like, Jordan Clarkson, man, he's giving us our best like J.R. Smith 6th Man of the Year impression right now. Today was one of those games. Kept us afloat offensively in that first half. When it really seemed like, the Knicks were struggling on offense, especially, Jalen Brunson really didn't have it going all too much. OG, Cat, McCall, they weren't really like the offense was not really flowing, but Jordan Clarkson came in and gave the Knicks a much needed boost. Shout out to Jordan Clarkson. Performances like this are the reason why your boy copped the jersey. The aura is just too powerful. It's just too good. Tony LGK says when Deuce comes back, Tyler Kolek needs his 20 minutes a game. If that changes, we will not with anything. Deuce isn't a point guard and will never have 9 assists a game. For me, it's like that don't really matter. I feel like both those players offers two totally different things. Like Deuce before he got hurt was on a heater from 3, and he's one of our best point of attack defenders. So like that stuff matters, and like you saw it even in today's game. Even though we won, the Knicks were getting killed by Darius Garland in the pick and roll. And I feel like we're like Tyler Cole, like he's good and all, but like Deuce at the point of attack, that's where he matters. That's where that stuff really, comes in handy. Deuce may never have 9 assists in a game, but I mean, he may get 9 threes in a game. Like that's where Deuce's value is. Like he's gonna give you threes and he's gonna give you some defense. And there's some moments where where Deuce is on a heater, he gives you a variation of scoring opportunities. Like he'll get into the mid range and give you a couple buckets there too. So I don't think we need to pick and choose between the two. I think both offer necessary skills that are required for this team to go its furthest. Let's see what else we got here. More praise for Tyler Kolek in the chat. Mitch Robinson off the bench. That was their largest comeback of the season. Second, their first largest comeback was, of course, against I believe the Pacers the other day, last week. And now they come back in this game and win this one down 17. Yep. All right, let's see. Jalen Brunson had 34 points today. He had 13 in the fourth. Kolek had 11 in the fourth. Just becoming a really dynamic backcourt, those two. So, yeah. Chris Bernhardt says, does it not get old being embarrassed at Cleveland? Jarrett Allen turns into Tweety Bird when he plays during the big moments. Yeah, no, I mean, and that's what I think a lot of Cavs and NBA fans are recognizing. And they're like, Cavs got a decision to make. They got a decision to make with these players. Jarrett Allen. I mean, it should have been over for Jarrett Allen from the moment he said the lights were too bright. And then I believe in the first game this year, he was mic'd up and he joked about like the lights are bright in here, whatever it was. The first game, the Knicks played the Cavs at Madison Square Garden. Just very fun, just very funny situation there. But yeah, no, I'm seeing another tweet here. It says Brunson versus Mitchell, one of the saddest ends to a rivalry I've ever seen. He's been owning him since he was a role player. And I saw another tweet. I had a couple tweets here that I didn't want to bring up. But I saw another tweet earlier from someone that's actually been on one of these Strickland shows, which Schwinn, SJ Basketball. So Brunson's been spanking him for years now and basically stole his career because he was supposed to be the Knicks savior before they shipped him to Cleveland. Honestly, that's very much true. And I mean, when I saw Brunson hit that three over Mitchell to really take that lead with like 1 minute and 5 seconds left in the fourth, I mean, I was just thinking to all the times that, like, you know, Brunson and Mitchell have matched up, and now leading up to here in New York and Cleveland, how, like, it really was thought that Donovan Mitchell was going to be, you know, he's the hometown kid. He was going to come back home. He was going to save the Knicks, bring them to glory. And, you know, Jalen Brunson, who's been smacking him up since they were on the West Coast. And he was in Dallas, and Donovan, which was in Utah. Since then, he's been smacking him up. And it just he hasn't let up, man. I really would hope that we face them again, so like Brunson could really show his levels, but like it feels like beating a dead horse at this point. Because you got Brunson owning him, and then you got Mitchell Robinson owning his two sons, Evan Mobley's son, and Jarrett Allen's son. So, yeah, no, this Cav shit is sad, man. It's real sad. We do got a tweet here from Schwinn. He says, worst Brunson 30-point game in a double-digit fourth-quarter comeback that's possible. Some weird shot selection and decision-making overall, but he's such a great shot maker and, again, delivered in crunch time. That step back three from the right ring is his go-to closing move. Yeah. No, if teams don't get the ball out of his hands, he is going to rise up and hit that shot, and I'm confident that it is going in, especially if it is like 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Like it's like a guarantee that Brunson's going to hit that shot. Like, no, I don't care who's on him. It could be Wemby on him, bro. I think he's still going to hit that shit. Speaking of Wemby, Spurs are up 47-43 now in OKC. Man, the Spurs really might own this OKC matchup, bro. That is going to be something that's so interesting to see. Ooh! Nah, Wemby just big boyed them just now. Oh my God. I'm so sorry, folks. But yeah, no, that is going to be something that's an interesting development to see in the West. Because if those teams match up in the playoffs, that could dictate like the whole scope of the whole NBA right there. Like we might end up seeing, you know, a Knicks Spurs finals. Like that's not crazy. Like the cup final might have low key been the NBA finals preview right there. All right, let's get some more comments. Shout out to y'all leaving comments here. While I'm getting distracted by this game. That's why I need to get out of here real quick. Jordan Bub asks, do we win this game with Thibs as our head coach? Does Kolek and Clarkson even play with Thibs as head coach? Clarkson does, but he probably gets yanked a little bit sooner on certain things. Kolek probably does not. Or he probably does, but he gets probably very limited run. Because Thibs, I think Thibs would play him as a second-year player. I don't think he would play him at all last year, but I don't think he would be closing with Brunson next to him at all. Like, I just don't think that would happen. From Bobby Marks here, this is from Jordan Bub. Cleveland is now 1-8 in their last 9 clutch games. It's not a problem we have over here in New York. 6-12 overall in clutch games for the season. Yuck. I don't even think the Knicks have played a lot of clutch games at all this year either. Just because they've been able to take care of business for the most part. But I mean, through last year's trials and tribulations, this year's core group has been able to play in a lot of clutch games over the last year, so they know what to do. So like Cleveland was 26-12 last year, and it's obviously not carrying over to this year. But I feel like for the Knicks, when you got the reigning clutch player of the year, and you got a lot of last year's players, they know what to do. Tyler Kolek over the last 2 games, 18 points per game, 8.5 assists, 7 rebounds, 1.5 steals, half a block a game, 42% from the field, 54.5% from 3, 100% free throws shooting, and 28.1 minutes per game. Last game he started against Minnesota. I really don't want to talk too much about that game just because like OG and Brunson rested. Knicks still almost won that game. They didn't win because, of course, Julius Randle decided to have one of the fakest magnet ball games ever. Decided to, finally show up when OG and Brunson weren't here. Kolek had a great game in that game. 20 points, 11 rebounds. 11 rebounds. Love me a small guard that can rebound the ball. 8 assists. Carl D. Towns gave you 40 and 13. Josh Hart gave you 12, 15, and 8. Got to see some Pacome minutes. Got to see some Kevin McCullough minutes. Got to see extended Mo Diawara run. That was just a very interesting game that the Knicks still almost won. This team is they got some depth, man. The names aren't really going to flash and pop off the screen as much, but they got some depth. Much deeper than last year's team. And shout out to Tyler Kolek, he had 3 steals that game as well. 9-22, kind of unloaded the clip a little bit, but hey, very valuable developmental minutes against pretty good Minnesota team. But when Julius Randle has that magnet ball going like he did, he had 15 straight points in the fourth quarter at one point. Like that was absolutely crazy. Not really something that you're really expecting to see from him. But you know what? You just move on from that game. You tip your cap, you tip your hat to the guy, and you move on because this game we actually have Jalen and OG, and it mattered a little bit more. And, the Knicks are still within range of the 1 seed. 3 games back of Detroit. Boston might be on our tail soon because I've seen their schedule, and their schedule lets up a little bit. But the Knicks schedule isn't too bad either. You're hoping that Detroit maybe catches an L or 2 coming up on this West Coast road trip, and Knicks can catch some ground there. But, let's keep going. From Zach of the Strickland. As the Knicks get more and more expensive, picks and contracts like these will expand their title window. Kolik's emergence as a legit rotation piece is massive for their multi-year outlook. Have to hope they hit on one or two more in the near future. This is why this upcoming year's first round pick is so important for the Knicks. Like they have to, first of all, they have to get a wing, because like that's the one part of the Knicks like rotation that's like I would say like the weakest behind McCall and OG. Like, gotta get a wing, someone that's somewhat NBA ready and ready to contribute like day one. And this year's draft class, it seems like it's going to be a really deep one. You're hoping that the Knicks keep the pick. Don't do all that maneuvering and moving around shit. Like, get a guy who's going to be here, because Mike Brown is going to play them. Like, Mike Brown ain't scared to play guys. That's one thing that we've seen so far. Like, Mike Brown is going to play guys. So get someone that is going to be ready to contribute to help expand this out, because you see with teams like OKC and whatnot, like they are deep. They have all these guys. They're eventually probably going to make some consolidation moves, but at the time being, they're deep and they have these guys that are ready to contribute. And, having that depth not only helps expand your multi-year outlook, but it also just helps you not expend your guys so much in the here and now. So you're just hoping the Knicks are able to do that and continue to expand their window. Sheesh, 1B, god damn. AppHap 1586 says, I don't know if this is a Knicks channel or a Cavs channel. It's a Knicks channel. He says, or they say, I thought the Knicks were done, but they keep coming at you. Yep. Nope. The Knicks, they definitely keep coming at you. I mean, even I thought they were done at a certain point, and they told me shut up and enjoy the show. And that's what I did. So, yeah. All right, let's see what else we got here. Jordan Bub. Largest comeback victories on Christmas Day in the NBA play-by-play era since Christmas 1997. 19-point comeback Milwaukee versus Boston in 2021. 18-point comeback Dallas at Sacramento 2023. And now today, the Knicks with their 17-point comeback versus Cleveland. Shout out Cleveland for being buns and, allowing this game to be a classic Knicks Christmas Day game. That's back-to-back Christmas Day classics for the Knicks. Gotta enjoy some Christmas Day at MSG. Maybe next year I'll make the trip to MSG for a Christmas Day game so I can catch a classic. But yeah, no. This was a great win. I love that the Knicks, I don't like that these games are sloppy, but I do like that the Knicks are able to win these games that they are not necessarily playing the best in for a lot of the games, because of course it matters, the process of everything, but it's just important that they're able to show this resilience against several different quality of opponents, and they're able to win in various ways as well. And you're just able to just find things out about your team in these type of games. Like, this is a game where Brunson did not have it really going until late in the fourth quarter. This was a game that Karl-Anthony Towns didn't really have it going offensively. Kind of got into early foul trouble. This was also a game, Josh Hart gets hurt. The Knicks kind of like really looked stuck in the mud for most of this game. They did have that run in the second quarter where they came back. But the third quarter hit, and it looked like, all right, this might be it for them today. But they just showed that resilience in the fourth quarter. And that fourth quarter was like very reminiscent to how they came back against this Spurs team that's killing OKC once again. Wow. Like I said, that is going to be an interesting development, not only for the Western Conference, but for the whole NBA, because if the Spurs come out of the West it makes things very interesting for whoever comes out of the East, i.e., if the Knicks come out of the East. Because everyone has this foregone conclusion that, it's going to be OKC in the finals. I'll pause that thought right there. Getting back to what I said. This fourth quarter was very reminiscent to how the Knicks started the fourth quarter against the Spurs in the Cup game. Mitch Robinson in, getting key rebounds, kicking out, guys making plays, chipping away at the lead, making the comeback. Knicks may have found themselves a formula to coming back against teams. Mitch Robinson, come on in, destroy these teams on the glass. Let's get to some second opportunities. Clarkson and Kolek or Brunson, do your thing. And it's now worked against, the Spurs in the Cup game and this Cavs team. Teams that have played relatively big, too. With Wemby, Cornette, Allen, Mobley. Latter two are more soft than the other two, pause. But, yeah. This has been a proven strategy that works for this Knicks team, and they may have found, whenever they're down, this may be the lineup that they go to. The Cavs are now 17-15, tied in the loss column with the 10th place Bulls. Not where anyone expected Cleveland to be. Yeah, no, not at all. I mean, Cleveland was expected to be at the top of the Eastern Conference, and a lot of people actually picked them to be above the Knicks in the Eastern Conference. But now it looks like the Eastern Conference is going to be probably a 3-team race, depending on what Boston does in the next couple of days, which is kind of embarrassing for the rest of the Eastern Conference that Boston is still in the hunt of things with their roster that they have, because their roster is such a far cry from what it was, this last era of Celtics ball with, Tatum being healthy, and they had Drew and Horford and Porzingis. All those guys are gone, and their team looks like a shell of itself, and they're still in the hunt of things in the Eastern Conference. So it looks like right now the East is going to be between Detroit and New York. And the West is kind of up for grabs between OKC, Spurs, and Denver. I'm not taking either LA, Minnesota, or Houston very seriously, especially Houston with their latter stretch of games recently. Minnesota with their lack of a primary ball handler next to Ant. And the Lakers just, we've seen how they looked against some of the other talent out there, so I don't necessarily trust it. They haven't really played a lot of the better teams so far yet, and when they have, it hasn't really looked the best. So there's that. But yeah, no, this is going to be very interesting. Cleveland was expected to be up there, and they're not. They're expected to be better than us. So funny. I did not expect them to be better than the Knicks. I think a lot of people were really putting a lot of stock into their continuity carrying over from the 60-win season and them wanting to really get back to being better than they were last year, especially after the disappointing flame out against the Pacers. And hey, you're seeing this game is kind of a culmination of like two teams that you're seeing how they both responded to being embarrassed last year by the Pacers. Pacers handled both the Knicks and Cavs in ways that neither team's fan base and a lot of NBA fans just didn't expect. And you're seeing how the Knicks respond to that season and the way it ended versus how the Cavs have. Cavs haven't been completely healthy. You can say that, whatever it may be. Knicks haven't been completely healthy either, but they're making the most of their situation, and yeah. So the Knicks play again on Saturday. We'll most likely be live then to cover that game. But yeah, shout out to everyone that tuned in. Make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe. Shout out to FanDuel for sponsoring us. And everyone enjoy the rest of your Christmas. I'll see you guys on Saturday. Peace.